Hey guys, I just want to thanks for coming to the We Are Yarn podcast. I wanted to remind you that today is March the 20th as I record this, and we do have a sweater knit along in progress. This is the yearly sweater, or not the yearly, the year-long sweater knit along. It's the year of the sweater for Mandy Cat, and I have invited you to join me. I have gotten a verbal donation of a sweater's quantity of yarn from Twist Fiber Studio. Just saying. That's the first step. We're moving towards the big, grand, amazing prize at the end of the year. If you knit 4 sweaters, if you complete 4 sweaters in 2018, and submit them to the Finished Sweaters threads, you will be entered for that grand prize. So I just wanted to remind you that was happening. Now on to our regularly scheduled programming.
I'm going down to the drugstore, buy a big old skeiny yarn. I'm gonna knit me a kitten, even if you don't give a darn.
Hi guys, welcome to this episode of the We Are Yarn podcast. My name's Amanda. Welcome to my channel on YouTube, if that's how you have found me. Welcome to my podcast, if you found me through a podcast aggregator. I'm glad you're around. Let's also welcome to my website if you are watching on weareyarn.com. I hope you're having a great time hanging out on Ravelry, if that's where you found me. In the We Are Yarn group. This is my afternoon cuppa. It has been beautiful until about an hour ago. The clouds started rolling in. We're about to get some pretty nasty weather, and then, you know, snow showers tomorrow, because why not? It's spring. Today's the first day of spring. I have so much to talk about. I always hate it when podcasters do this, so, and then I do it. I'm sorry. I recorded a couple of weeks ago, and it was not my best work. It was not, I mean, I don't shoot for, you know, mega quality. I mean, you see how the lighting's doing today and everything. But it wasn't even, it didn't meet my standards of quality even, so. But I have finished so much since the last time I talked to you, so I'm going to break this up. I'm going to, we're going to do, I don't know how many episodes are going to come out of this, but I don't know if I'm going to release them once a week or just every couple of days, but I wanted to give them, you know, I'm trying to keep it in smaller chunks. So, yes, today is March the 20th, first day of spring. I am coming to you from the lovely, I don't know, it's the Valley, Tennessee Valley in Tennessee, in the Knoxville metro area, with my sheep and my kitty and my coffee and all of these beautiful things in front of me. So let's get started. First off, I want to show you the first thing that I finished since I spoke with you, and that's going to be my Movie Night Cocoon Cardi. I will enter my lovely modeling job here. So this is the Movie Night Cocoon Cardi by a person whose name I don't know, but if you put in on Ravelry, Movie Night Cocoon Cardi, it is free with lots of ads on the website. You can download a PDF. I think you have to pay for that, but I'm going to be completely and totally honest. It's a free pattern. This is what I did. So I used HPKY giant skein, worsted weight 16 ounces. I'm pretty certain Tosca is the colorway name. So I got 12 skeins in one for my project. Pippin, now that he's no longer in my lap, is playing in a bag, so I'm sorry for the background noise. So you got 78 yards each, so a total of 940 yards, which I'm pretty certain was a little bit less than what the pattern called for, and we'll get into that. Alright, so it's all the same colorway. I'm pretty certain they use the same recipe across all of the bases. How many did you get? 12 bases. And what I did is I wound each skein into a ball, and then I halved those. And then I magic knotted them together in the same order. So, and I laid them out kind of novelty fuzzy skein, smoother skein, fuzzy novelty, smooth fuzzy. You get the gist. And then so I laid them out in that pattern, and then I tied those, did that twice, magic knots, Bob's your uncle, off I went. I grabbed, did I use a J or an I? It doesn't matter. We all have different gauges. I grabbed a hook appropriate for worsted weight yarn and went to town and just started making a granny square. And I went until I ran out of yarn. So, this is how it looks up close. And you can see how there are subtle variations in the color because of the way each skein, that's my center, each skein takes up the dye differently because of the different contents. And we got fuzzies and smooths and fuzzies and smooths. And then I went till I ran out of yarn. And when I ran out of yarn, I had half of one side left to go. So like 1/8 of a round. So frustrating. If I had crocheted to half of a round, or 1/8 of a round and ran out, I would have just pulled it back. But I had gone so far, so I laid it down, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to pull back just that edge, or if I wanted to pull all the way back, or if I wanted to find a coordinating yarn and finish that round, and then do the sleeve, like the armholes and the neck band in the contrast. And that's what I ended up deciding to do. Thought about using a brown. Thought about pulling some of my fingering weight out and holding it double. I thought about, I'm looking over there because all the things that I thought about are still kind of clumped together. I thought about a green single, but it was way different than this green. It was way different than that green. None of the purples really flowed in. And so I was finally like, you know what, let's just coordinate. Let's not try to really super match. Let's see what I have in this random bag of stuff up here in the back of everything. Guess what I found in that random bag of stuff? Remember those interchangeables that I couldn't find, that I thought I had lost forever a year ago? There they are. So now I'm up a set of interchangeables. I'm super stoked about it. So happy to find those. But what else I found as far as yarn is this old line suede. They don't even make this stuff anymore. This is the eggplant colorway. And it's kind of a fuzzy Chanel kind of yarn. And I felt like that fit into the whole lots of different bases kind of thing I had going on. So, yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I ended up doing 13, what are those called? They're called groups, shells, whatever that you want to call each individual unit in your granny square. I did 13 of those, And then I used that. I just went around and used a chain stitch to join my edges as the pattern tells you to do. My square ended up being an inch or two smaller than it called for. And I was a little disappointed in that, and I was concerned that it wasn't going to fit, but guys, it's great. Oh, you just saw a glimpse of the closet, the craft closet. Okay, so here it is. I am considering just going on and using the rest of this, and because I did 2 rounds around the neck, and I'm thinking about going back and just finishing off this skein. I need a new crochet trick, right? I feel like I got done doing this and I went, oh, so now what's going to be my next crochet trick? What's going to be my next big thing? And I haven't decided yet. I did crochet a dishcloth as a way to say thank you this past weekend, and I may be making that, that may be my standard dishcloth now instead of knitting them. Anyway, so the deets, to sum up: Movie Night Cocoon Cardi, out of a giant skein from HPKY, each skein divided in 2, granny square till you couldn't take it no mo, or you ran out of yarn, and then lion suede to finish off with a hook appropriate for worsted weight yarn. It is so warm and lovely. I love this. Alright, so that was my first finished object. Let me show you something I've been working on. I have 2 whips right now, and I think for this video we'll just visit one. Ow. Because I have a little bit of a needle review. I had a gift certificate burning a hole in my pocket. More accurately, my husband gave me a gift certificate and kept asking me if I had spent it yet. So I went to the yarn store. It's a different yarn. It's not my local LYS. My local LYS? It's not my LYS. It's a different one in Knoxville that I do not frequent. I don't ever go there. I don't ever. And he said that he thought they would have different things, and I tried to buy different things than what they carry at my LYS, and then the last time I was there I was like, oh, they did have that colorway. That's okay. One thing they carry that my LYS does not are Addies. So I purchased some flexi clips. Mine came in a tube, and I've noticed another podcaster showing them today, and hers did not come in tubes, and I was like, I wonder why it was different like that. But I ended up, because I had bought everything that I had my toddler with me, and that was for a reason. I took my toddler with me so that I felt like I needed to get in and out, so that I didn't spend all day trying to make a decision, because I can do that, paralysis by analysis, right? So I ended up getting 2 to use up my gift card. I got a US 1 and a US 0 because I plan to use these for socks. Now, if you've been watching for any length of time, you know, thanks for hanging out with me that long, by the way, you know that I am strictly, when I knit socks, toe up, 2 at a time, magic loop, fish lips kiss heel. That's my recipe right now. But I've gotten to where I really don't like knitting socks, and I get bored knitting socks, and and it takes me longer to knit a pair of socks than it does a sweater, which is ridiculous. So I'm trying to shake it up and try different recipes to see if maybe what I feel like is my standby shouldn't be my standby anymore. So, I have been working since I think October, was it, that I started some socks for my husband for Christmas, which were then going to be for Valentine's Day and are now going to be for his birthday, which is next month. Ooh, I just saw some lightning. Dinner plans may have to change because we were going to put something on the grill. But I cast on this Desert Vista Dye Works, the wild one, self-striping. And I had cast them on 2 at a time, toe up, magic loop. And when I realized that I was not enjoying knitting them, I had divided the ball. Ooh, oh yeah, okay. So, when I realized I was not enjoying them, I thought, okay, after I get past the heel and I'm onto the leg, maybe I'll divide them and do 1 at a time from there and see how I feel about it. Because I know a lot of podcasters and a few of my friends will knit concurrently. They'll have 2 socks going at once, so they'll knit the toes, and then they'll knit the feet, and then they'll knit the heels, right, and then the legs. I'm like, maybe that'll be more my speed. So that's what I did. I had made it to the heels, and I took 1 sock and moved it over to these flexi flips. Now I'm halfway through a row, and we'll talk about that why in a minute. Alright, so once I knit, you're supposed to go for about 1 inch from the heel on the Fish Lips Kiss before you start anything on your leg for a better fit according to the designer. And I'm sitting really, I'm sorry, my head's getting chopped off, but you know, that is what it is. Alright, so I did a 3x1 rib up the leg just to make sure it was good and snug. And guys, I was like 4 rows in, and I had a lot of knitting time this past weekend. I kind of went on a girls' weekend in Brevard, North Carolina, and it was beautiful and amazing. And I had quite a bit of time in the car, but I got so much further on this leg than I expected to. Okay, if you hear background noise, the cat is in a chair chasing his tail. It's hilarious. Anyway, so I had a lot more time. I got a lot further than I expected. And I don't know if that's because I'm doing 1 at a time now. Because I also had the learning curve with these needles and trying to figure out, I'm still not gonna, the jury's still out for me whether I like them or not. I don't think they're bad, but I don't know if I'll prefer them. The idea is that they kind of work like DPNs. You get 3. It's a DPN 2 circ hybrid. So you get 3 and you just work across, you know, and then you have your needle and you turn. So instead of having 3 or 4 DPNs, you in your sock and then your extra working needle, you just have 2 in your sock and then your working needle. So, you know, less to lose, I guess. And the cable, the short tiny cable in there gives your working, you know, your working stitches room to kind of move and breathe while you're knitting. So I'm still kind of struggling a little bit on where to put them. They're not uncomfortable in my hands. I didn't get crampy. I don't know if it's just the way I hold my needles, but I didn't. What I was struggling with while I was knitting is what to do. I would try to bunch the knitting on the other side up so that most of it was on the cable, and so that I could bend this out of my way or kind of put. I'm still fiddling with it. It's progress. We're having to learn something new here. Learning new things is hard. When you're creeping up on 40 like I am, learning new things is hard. But I'm enjoying it. So I made it this far. That's where I put a little stitch marker in where I started my ribbing so that I could, on both socks, so that I could better line it up to make sure that my progress was even. And then, so I got that far, and then I came over to this one, and I have done that much. And I got quite a bit of this done yesterday while I was swinging my kid on the swing set. Not yesterday, Sunday. So I'm feeling good about that. Now, my goal was to bind this off, I did the 3x1 rib. Then I was going to do my 1x1 twisted rib for about an inch and then bind off. So I started my 1x1 here. So I have not quite half, I'm leaning way out of frame. So I have not quite even half an inch, not even half an inch there. And then I came up on this. Let me see if I can get it up here where you can see. Do you see my problem? Come on, zoom in. There you go. Do you see my problem? 2 of the 3 plies are broken. I don't know if it was already done when she dyed the yarn. I don't know if this is how the yarn came to her. I don't know if it was unpackaged properly. I don't know if a bug got to it. I don't know. But I'm really dreadfully disappointed. And I was thinking about cutting, and since these are for my husband, I didn't want to have a knot in it because I don't know how, when you're giving something to someone. So I'm thinking about just backing it up to the end of my 3x1 rib and just binding it off there. Because that was, I like to go until my leg is as long as the foot, is my general rule of thumb. But, and see, I'm nowhere close. I don't know. I'm still not real sure. So instead of taking these needles out, the goal was to bind off and be done. I realized later, I'm going to be honest, that I should have gotten 2 of the same if I'm going to be knitting 2 at a time. But I had these, I was working on these Addie's sock rockets. Is the needle I had them on previously. And so since they're Addie's, I feel confident that I may get a similar gauge with it. So I've just been working on the magic loop on the other sock, and that's fine. But jury's still out for this sock. But his birthday is mid-April, so I'm actually pretty confident that I'll be able to finish these if I stay on top of it as one of my 2 primary whips. If I don't get squirreled like I did this weekend while I was on my little retreat in Brevard. And get everything back in my bag. My bag that I have this in, I don't even remember who made this. I think I got it at a festival, but it's a Doctor Who bag, since those are Doctor Who themed socks. So while we were in Brevard, we visited a couple of shops. One of those shops was the Sun Dragon Arts and Fiber, and she has like drawing supplies and things as well as yarn. And it was a lovely little shop. If you are ever in the area of Brevard, North Carolina, I highly recommend Sun Dragon. You wouldn't, it's like Sun Dragon yarn. Doesn't really make sense. Try it out. It's adorable. So I saw my friend Wendy and I saw a sample of this hanging on the wall. This bamboo bloom hand paints. So this is a bulky. It is 48% rayon from bamboo, 44% wool, and 8% acrylic. And they just had a very simple cowl hanging up, and the pattern was free. She gave it to us with purchase of yarn. And it was, you just cast on, and it's just real simple. When you come to the big bumps, you purl them. And my colorway is Reflecting Pool. I still have not woven my ends in because that's how I roll. And I think it's lovely. So this is my little souvenir from the weekend. Uh-oh. I need to weave that end in. Everything's getting kind of loosey-goosey there. But I am tickled pink with it. I picked this because it was springy colors. I got home to the needles that I had discovered after losing and cast on that evening and bound it off the next morning. So this is a lovely souvenir of my time in Brevard with my friends. I'm really, really happy with it. So that's all. I think I'll cut this one here. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Bye. I forgot to mention when I was talking about my movie Cardi that I haven't blocked this at all. I haven't washed it. I haven't steamed it. I've done nothing with nothing. I did consider blocking it before I seamed it up, but I was too excited and didn't want to wait on it to dry. So
I just can't wait to finish. I got the kitten knitting blues. No, I just can't wait to finish. That's why I got those kitten knitting blues.